There we are. We're live.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to BookCAST, where we love talking about books. I'm Dana, and this is my dad, Keith,
Hello, this
and
camera. I got too many cameras.
and we are covering the ending of Jim Butcher's Stormfront, the first novel of the Dresden Files. The final 3 chapters.
Yep, and I've read this book in the past, so I'll try to remember what I can. I did not have time to read them tonight, so it's all Dana. If anything's wrong, it's her fault.
Oh yeah, just put all the blame on me. Thanks.
Bam!
You just get off scot free. Hopefully some of it jogs your memory.
Yeah, it should. I mean, I'm gonna have it right here and kind of thumb through it while you're going, and I'm gonna chime in. I promise.
All right, well, here we are. The final battle, right? So last we left off, Harry was right in front of the lake house. One thing I didn't realize was that he is located in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
but the lake house is located in Michigan. So I did not realize that
Okay.
until. But anyways, well, just because it comes into play towards the end, really. So so last we left off, Harry was just about to enter the house, and he had noticed all the negative energy outside, and he saw all he opened up his sight, his third eye, and had seen all of the crazy stuff surrounding the house.
Yeah, but
Um,
you have to remember, I just so that you're aware, I double checked the lake house and all that stuff. Lake Chicago is literally on the edge of Lake Michigan. So this house that he's going to
oh,
is in
okay.
the Chicago area, but it's on
Yeah,
Lake
okay.
Michigan. I had
Yeah,
look,
okay.
don't feel bad. I had to check the map. Shh, don't tell nobody.
Look, it's been years, okay? I took geography in high school, but like that was the last time.
That's why God invented Google Maps.
And I am just not interested enough in geography to remember all of that. But well, anyways, so
This is why God invented Google Maps.
he goes so chapter 25, he enters the house and it's unlocked, right? The guy is Victor, who Harry calls, gives him the nickname Shadowman. That's right, Shadowman. And the guy is so, like, he's full of himself because he just leaves the door unlocked. He has to know that Harry's coming for him, and the guy doesn't care. And Harry just like walks right in.
Yep.
So he for a moment he thinks that he might be giving Victor too much credit. Like the guy is pretty much all brains, all
Yeah,
bronze, no
I think
brains.
I think he doesn't realize, or he thinks that even though he's as powerful as a natural wizard, he's not. He doesn't have the education, maybe if I remember right, of a natural wizard.
He
So
does, yeah, he
so
doesn't have the
because of
formal
that,
training.
but Harry isn't stupid. He goes in there with his protections all in place, if I remember right.
Yeah,
So
he does. He
he's
has
got.
all of his
So
protections.
in going in, he does see all kind of creatures, and but they're kind of backing away because of his protection.
Yeah, pretty much all the stuff that he had seen, like in the aura outside of the house, is so concentrated when he goes into the house that it manifests itself in these little nasty little creatures, but they don't get too close to him because of of his light.
Yep.
So he but he doesn't just barrel on through like he did at the varsity club, Marsone's club. He doesn't just like bust the door open or just run right in. No, he sneaks and he hears Victor performing the spell. Um he finds he finds the drug and the makings of the drug, like all the makings for potions. So this is definitely where all that stuff, all that the 3-eye drug was being made. And as he still has his sight on, so he sees like all the manifestations of what the drug is and what it can do to people, and it affects him. It affects him in a big way, to the point
I
where
would imagine.
he's like terrified, he's trembling. And I mean, that's what I like about him. That's what I said from the beginning, is that I like that he admits when he's afraid, you know? Like every
But
time he just admits he's afraid.
again, you're bringing some of it back to me, but which I thought was different than the rest of the book. In this particular chapter, or the last chapters, doesn't Jim Butcher start to write this kind of as though he was Harry in the third person? It's like Harry's describing an event from the past that's not being described in real time. Because I think if I remember right, I don't know why that impressed me, but it's like I walked into the house, I saw this, I saw that, and not being described in real time. It's more like Harry describing an event from the past. So Jim Butcher's writing in as though he was Harry.
Well,
I don't remember him doing that in the rest of the book, but I think these last chapters, that's the way it was, right? Or am I missing something?
well, the whole book is told from Harry's point of view.
Yeah, but he wasn't talking about it as though it was a story that happened in the past. It was more like real time up until this part. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing the boat. I remembered that.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is like in the last chapter, he talks about it as an event that's happened in the past. He talks about how yeah,
even when he goes into the house to go into battle, it's Harry describing an event from the past. But I don't remember the rest of the book being that way. Maybe I just need some better drugs. I don't know. I don't know why that's in my brain. Anyway.
Well, I mean, no, I mean, at one point he talks about it like, no, he talks about it as like, kind of in a way like, oh, at that moment I thought, this and that. I mean, I don't know. You got me all confused now.
I was trying to confuse you. That's not what I was trying to do. I just remembered that. I don't know why that sticks in my brain. It's like that just popped in my head all of a sudden. I remembered from reading this book the first time. Okay, let's keep going.
We're having so much fun.
I've screwed you up royally now.
No, the train of thought has derailed. No, but no, he's terrified, and he gives himself this little pep talk right before he goes and confronts Victor, and I wrote it down because I thought it was interesting, where he tells himself, "You pays your money, you takes your chances."
That sounds like something he would say from what I remembered. Yeah, that's hilarious.
And I kind of thought that was cute, because like he's always given himself, like throughout the whole book, he gives himself a pep talk.
And
like
that's really what that is. Yeah. That's like his own little quirky, dorky pep talk. Yeah.
He just gives himself these pep talks right before he has to deal with these really horrible things. And I feel so bad for him. But he causes, like, he starts the battle off. Like Victor, I don't know if Victor just doesn't know that he's there yet, or if he knows that Harry's there, but he just doesn't care because he's still trying to get the spell going.
I think what it is, I think that you can attribute this to Victor's cockiness and his lack of experience, because he just thinks he's untouchable at this point. He literally thinks he's that good. And I have a feeling, as we're about to find out, he's gonna probably learn some hard lessons.
So Harry just like I think he sends like a fireball or something at the stereo because there's music playing. There's like sensual music playing because you've got the Becketts there doing the sporting.
They spoken.
They're sporting to kind of to give feeling and to put power behind Victor's spell.
Yeah,
So the
it's
Becketts are
adding
there.
power just like the storm. They generate power from sporting.
So the Becketts are there to help Victor fight Harry. And so this music was playing on the stereo system, the same kind of music that was playing when Jennifer and Tommy Tom were getting it on.
Oh, is it like Barry White? Oh yeah,
I'm guessing.
Got some Barry
But
going.
so Harry screws up the radio,
Oh, get the
which
move. Okay.
Harry screws up the radio and then uses a wind spell to propel himself. And I like how in the book that he describes it kind of like Batman, like his duster. It's flowing like Batman's cape as he uses the the wind spell to propel himself onto the platform that they're doing the spell on.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess it's like
cheesy.
the second story or something.
That's cheesy.
And you have to remember Harry is still wearing his sweatpants and cowboy boots. And he describes how he's still dressed in his sweatpants and cowboy boots. And here's Victor, all dressed in black from head to toe, trying to look like a very stylish, typical kind of emo wizard thing,
Yeah.
And here's Harry in his duster and sweatpants and cowboy boots. Like, yes, of course, if you're gonna go into battle where you could die, I mean, yeah, why not sweatpants and cowboy boots? His ghost is gonna look so stylish, right? You ever heard that? Like, oh, remember, when you get dressed for the day, remember if you die that day, that's what your ghost is gonna be dressed in.
Oh God.
But I just
I
thought
believe
that
that
was
because that's how Harry dresses. Though he's a bit old the tacky side.
so. And then the battle starts. Okay, the two of them kind of like Victor's like it's you, and Harry's like it's me,
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, not like
and the
that.
two no, the two of them, and then the battle begins. But I think just as Victor is about to stab, because he's got a little rabbit there, right? A little white rabbit that he's using as the kind of a base, like kind of have like a voodoo doll.
Yeah.
So the rabbit is supposed to represent Harry, and just as Victor is about to stab the rabbit's heart, Harry, I think, just like Harry takes the film canister that he found the first time he went to the lake house. He didn't even use magic. He just took the film canister and he throws it at Victor. And it's just a simple little film canister that completely messes everything up because the magic is so delicate and requires such concentration and all this ritual. And a little film canister f's it all up to the point where because the storm has arrived at this point and it just sends everything flying, and completely screws up the spell. That little film canister caused the magic to go haywire. So you've got the Becketts who are writhing over here on the floor, flying naked, knocked back by the blast.
I had to reflect on that for a moment.
Well, yeah, they're completely naked. So they just get knocked back.
Okay, I got it.
And so do Victor and Harry. And that gives and then the house is set on fire. And wasn't that one of the things that Harry had seen when he was standing outside?
He saw that.
The house gets set on fire.
He saw all kinds of flames and like several different paths, but they all led to fire. So that part was kind of like inevitable. That house was toast.
And so Victor summons his wand. And Harry is like, see, that's the problem with some wizards is they only think with magic. So what Harry does, instead of using magic, he like rushes Victor and like uses force, like physical force, to knock Victor down. And then he just starts beating him up. At one point, he goes to kick him, and instead of like kicking him in the gut, the way Victor moves, Harry kicks Victor right between the legs. And he's like cursing at him and beating him up. And that's when the Beckett starts shooting guns. They're naked, okay? This couple are
I am
naked.
so glad that you said shooting guns because they naked and you don't have shooting guns in the words on the blog. And I'm like, I hope this is what I'm thinking this is about to be because this just got non PG-13.
Well, it says then the Beckett starts shooting. I mean, you
Weapons,
assume.
guns, not necessarily. They naked.
So they're starting to shoot. And you know when magic and technology are involved, it never goes well. So Harry gets shot. He gets injured. But then the guns start to jam, and Harry's just thanking the stars that at least the guns didn't freaking explode on everyone. And that gives Victor the chance to release the scorpions. Okay,
More
like there more. All these scorpions, he has more
like
scorpions.
these things are the size of a terrier.
Yeah, and he
So they
releases.
got more than one of them now.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that's
don't
not
remember
good.
that? You don't
Nope.
remember that?
No, I didn't remember
Yeah.
that. Have no
And
memory of that.
and that's how chapter 25 ends, with Harry rushing into, I think he rushes into the kitchen to kind of get his bearings. And he is outnumbered. He's got the naked Becketts with their guns. He's got Victor and his magic, and now scorpions. Who are now look, these scorpions are not nearly as big as the other one was getting when
No,
he
but
fought Harry,
they
but they're
grow
they're big.
and they
Yeah.
grow as they feed and kill other things, so they begin to
Yeah.
grow over time.
Yeah, so chapter 25 ends with Harry like outnumbered, okay? The place is on fire and he's having to deal with scorpions, and it's a mess. But in true Harry form, we go into chapter 26, and Harry is in the kitchen. He has picked up a broom. Okay, a broom. So he has his broom in his hand, and he remembers a spell that he used way back when he was learning magic. A cleaning spell. So he uses the cleaning spell on the broom, and the broom starts whacking the scorpions, knocking them off the second floor
Harry's
down to the
smart.
first floor. So at any time a scorpion would try to get past, the broom would just like whack it. So that's one obstacle kind of taken care of. And while this is going on, Victor and Harry are trash talking each other, basically. You know, trying to get at each other's weak spots. And Victor, this whole time, is trying to figure out how Harry found him. And Harry doesn't reveal just yet that it was Victor's wife that told him, you know? Because he at this point, he's afraid that if Victor does get away, that'll put Monica and the kids in danger. So he doesn't say anything, you know? And so he just keeps goading Victor on, like trash talking him, and I love it. I love that whole scene.
Yeah.
Because Harry uses the fact that he's got so much more training than Victor, and Victor is just like a newbie wizard who doesn't really have the same kind of training, and they just keep trash talking each other. And
Yeah, that's actually cool the way they do that because it's like they're trying to egg each other on and throw each other off balance because all that detracts from concentrating on the magic. And
mhm.
with Harry's experience, he isn't as easily swayed as Victor. So advantage Harry in this part.
But at this point, the Becketts have found guns that won't jam. Like they're kind of like it's an older kind of gun. So they're shooting. So they're still like shooting. And I think Victor tells them to leave, to escape, but not to go down to the first floor because the first floor has the scorpions. He tells them to go out through the deck, like from the second floor deck or whatever.
Yeah.
Um and Victor summons the toad demon. The same toad demon that Harry fought before. Now, Harry explains that he knew he didn't kill the demon beforehand because you can't really kill it. You just send it back to its plane, its home plane. So Victor summons this demon, and Harry's laughing because of how clumsy Victor is. Like, he just gave Harry the name of the toad demon. So now him and Victor are kind of they're fighting for control over the toad demon.
Yeah.
So all Harry has to do is he puts his emotions and his will behind saying the name of the demon, and Victor doesn't really understand what's going on. He's trying to get the toad demon to kill Harry, but Victor is barely holding on to the creature as it is. And then
He ain't strong enough. Go, Harry, get him.
Harry uses, like, to finally push it over to his side. He uses the thoughts of like Monica and Monica's daughter and everything, like little Jenny or some. He uses those emotions from that to fuel it, and then instead of completely taking control of the toad demon, he releases it. So the toad demon's on nobody's side but its own at this point.
Just gonna kill anybody close by.
Yes. So Victor is trying to now Victor, after Harry tells him, "Well, I released it. I took control and released it." So now Victor is trying to be like, "Hey, why don't we work together and kill this thing because it's going to kill us both? And how about we just both not die?" But Harry's not having it. He's like, "No, I'm sorry. No. Oh well." So Harry pretty much at this point came here. He figured he was going to die anyway. But I don't think Harry wants to physically kill Victor himself. It's just kind of like, oh, well, if we all die in flames, we all die in flames.
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody to die. Everything he's trying to do, he's trying to delay and figure out how to not kill people. Everyone else's safety is always what he's got in mind. Because he doesn't want to kill the Becketts. He doesn't want to kill any of them.
So the fight leads them to hitting that railing. And from, I guess, the way that the house was described, there's like it's 2 floors, right? And there's like this balcony railing that leads to the first floor, and that's where they're fighting. They're fighting on that second floor, like, platform.
Yeah, almost like a drop off right there. So they're at the edge,
Yeah.
and there's like a railing to keep you from falling over the side.
So while they're fighting, at one point, the toad demon latches on to Victor's throat, I think, or shoulder or something. Like, he just latches on. And they all are... Now, Harry is hanging on to the railing because he has been pushed. So he's holding on, and he's
That
trying not to
goofball would
fall.
be in a bad spot.
He's trying not to fall. And the toad demon is like barely balancing. So everything is like, it's teetering on edge at this point.
Yeah.
And Harry kind of takes a moment, and he feels like he's gonna die, So he starts having these regrets, like he regrets hurting Murphy. He regrets he's thinking he thinks I should have listened to Murphy. I should have, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And when he thinks about Murphy, he realizes he still has her handcuffs on him. So he takes what little bit of strength really he has left, okay? And he pulls up, he latches the handcuff onto the railing, and he takes Victor's pant leg and he yanks him down, and Victor and the toad demon go falling down to the first floor. Well, if you remember correctly, guess what's on the first floor?
The
All those scorpions.
scorpions.
And Harry, you know, he doesn't look down. He doesn't want to see what's going on. He hears, "Oh, I'm completely missing a part." During the battle um with the toad demon and everything, like before that,
Yeah.
Harry had actually told Victor, he did end up telling Victor that, well, you know what? Your wife, it was your wife that told me about you and where to
Oh,
find you.
slam.
So, and I think that was either when they were battling over the will of the toad demon or when they were just fighting the toad demon or whatever. But Harry does end
Well,
up telling him.
I bet you it was when they were trash talking each other. That was probably one of the things that
No,
Harry threw
he
at
held off
Victor.
at first. He held off at first. It was after the toad demon was summoned, but I can't remember if it was when they were battling over
Oh,
the
I
will
thought
of
they
the
were
toad
clashing with
demon.
all that trash talk.
No, because the
Your
guy was like, "Who
mama, your
told you?"
mama,
No, he was like, "Who told you where I was, or who told you how to find me?" And Harry is like,
your mama
um,
told me.
no, he doesn't tell him. He's like, "What?" Kind of almost like, "Wouldn't you like to know?" Almost, but
I
or
told him.
something like that. But he does end up revealing it because it's like the last thing he could really use or something. He does say like it was your wife. So when Victor's down there dying, he's like screaming because he's getting stung by the scorpions and torn alive by the toad demon, and the toad demon's getting torn apart by the scorpions, you know? And so Harry is just hanging there with the handcuffs, like just hanging there, pretty much expecting to die. And
Well,
instead of looking down at the gruesome scene, he's looking up at the flames. And you know what he's thinking? I'm starving. He's like,
he's
I'm
stupid.
hungry.
He
I'm
really
hungry.
is stupid. Not only the fact that he's worried about his damn hunger pains in the middle of all that crap going on. Aside from that, he handcuffs himself to a railing, and there is a demon on the first floor. That's not that far away with scorpions, with another wizard trying to kill him, and he's handcuffed to a railing now. He
Well,
has he has now limited his mobility.
and it's funny because before, when he was just holding onto the railing, the scorpions were trying to jump up and get at him. And and one of them almost like came really close to getting at him. Um,
That's the
but
last thing I'd have done would be to handcuff myself to something.
he used the handcuffs, I guess, to kind of like hold himself because he couldn't hold on anymore. And he yanked Victor's leg and just pulled Victor, and that pulling Victor also knocked the toad demon off balance because the toad demon was latched on to Victor. And Victor and the toad demon just went falling. So, Harry wins. He
For the
wins.
moment,
He wins, but like he doesn't want to. So yeah, he didn't want to see Victor get torn apart, and the toad demon gets torn apart by the scorpions as well. So like, just the whole thing is nasty, and I just love that he's looking up the ceiling and he's admiring the flames. He admires the flames. He's like how beautiful they are, and then he's like, I realize I'm starving.
I
I
need a
haven't had a good
burrito.
meal since I haven't had a good meal since Friday, and it's Sunday night.
I need a burrito.
And
That
then
boy is stupid.
he's like, it's funny the things you think about when you're about to die. So
I know what I'd be thinking about him.
he's also so he's just so there he is, and then he's like, and then I start seeing things. He sees Morgan show up. Morgan shows up. He thinks it's a hallucination at first, brought on by hunger and death and the smoke from the flames. He thinks it's just a vision, but no, it's Morgan shows up and kills a few scorpions. And then when he gets to Harry, the chapter ends, and Morgan's bringing his sword down on Harry. And Harry is thinking. Harry's last thoughts are, how typical this situation is. Like, of course, he survives all this other crap that has been thrown at him, only to be taken out by a person who represents the like a person who represents the people whose cause he's fighting for.
Yeah, that'd be my luck.
And that's how chapter 26 ends, with Morgan's sword coming down on Harry. But Harry's not dead, though. Chapter 27, he's waking up with whose face over him? Morgan.
Yeah,
Morgan had
that
given
does not sound comfortable.
Morgan had given Harry CPR.
Uh,
He actually, and I had completely forgotten about this part. And I remembered, because from the first time I read it, I remembered the fight, like most of the fight between, Harry and Victor. But I completely forgot about Morgan showing up and saving Harry's butt from being engulfed by flames.
I got one word. Nasty.
But, so yeah,
That's gross.
that's Harry. That's Harry's view of it as well. He's like you. He wakes up and he was given the kiss of life by Morgan. So
Anyhow,
in the final chapter,
could you imagine if
okay,
Morgan had Greek and Lebanese and had some hummus breath? Harry wakes up thinking he ate a pita bread. Ugh. Now keep going. That's all right.
and I don't imagine. I don't know. I just I had completely forgotten about the fact that he saved Harry.
I had to, and I mean I remember it now that you brought it up, but I'd completely forgotten about that. So really, in a way, Harry's almost going to have to live with it forever. But probably it's going to piss Morgan off more than it's going to upset Harry. That's the key part. Knowing Morgan's personality, he's not going to be happy with having to do that.
He's so irate because he watched because Harry asks him, "Why did you save me?" I thought you hated me and stuff. But first of all, Morgan points out that, well, he watched the whole thing. He had seen the whole thing. I guess he had followed Harry, or either that or he's always watching like he says he is.
Well, he's a watcher, a guardian. He's supposed to be doing that. That's his job.
So he had seen the whole thing play out, and Harry didn't kill anyone. Not directly. Because, I mean, remember, he just pulled Victor down. He didn't actually kill Victor. It was the scorpions and the toad demon that killed Victor. So Harry didn't, Harry wasn't the bad guy. He wasn't the killer. So basically, that whole situation Morgan saw, Harry proved his innocence. So Morgan saved him. Also, he also throws at him that you are a member of the White Council, technically. So it's kind of my duty to save you. And Harry's like, so wait, does that mean that I was right and you were wrong?
Oh, Punjab.
Because this means that Morgan on Monday is going to have to go to the White Council and actually plead for Harry's case.
Oh, yeah, disaster for Morgan. His whole life is done a 180.
So
it's all turned around.
Morgan's not too happy because he was proven wrong. So, and then that Harry just dissolves into laughter, just laughing his butt off.
Of course, he would pour salt in the wound.
He's just laughing as Morgan just stomps off into the woods, okay, with his little sword. And he's like, the police are, before he leaves, he's like, the police are on their way. They'll freaking heal you up. So he just walks off. But not before letting Harry know that when he talks to the White Council, there is a possibility that they will release him of the doom of Damocles. So, yep.
I hope that's what happens.
And now we get into, I guess, the like at the end of the battle, wherever what happens to everyone else part of the chapter, you know? Um First off, the Becketts are arrested. They get arrested, and they get arrested for being naked. Okay?
What a way to get arrested.
But the district, and then they get prosecuted for all the 3-eye drug, you know? They get prosecuted and stuff for, so they're in jail and they get jailed for the 3-eye drug stuff.
Yeah.
But they're in a different, I think Harry talks about how because of where they got arrested, Johnny is not going to really like be able to get at them or something like that. I don't know, something like that. I think that's what it had said.
I remember something along those lines. So yeah, I think that's right.
Um, and of course, Marcone was true to his word and basically spread rumors that Harry went that he had hired Harry to get rid of his competition, and that the reason the varsity was like destroyed or messed up or whatever was because of a fire that had broken out. So he claimed the insurance on that, you know. So it worked out. It works out for the Kingpin.
He said that's what he
Exactly.
was going to do. So
And that he was true to his word.
yeah,
The
because he's
White
going to
Cat.
look like a king.
Yep. The White Council does release Harry of the Doom of Damocles. So now he doesn't have to worry about Morgan constantly on his butt looking for a reason to get him arrested. Though Harry suspects that Morgan and the others are still going to kind of keep an eye on him because even he believes that he has that, because he has that temptation to darkness within him. So he kind of feels like maybe he is the Antichrist, you know? In a way, that's how that's how Harry puts it. Because he's like, maybe I am that dangerous. Well,
Yeah.
honey, you are, but you're dangerous. But I don't know, like, I don't think he's really that dangerous.
Well, at least not at this point in time because he has a conscience. He cares.
Yeah,
That makes a difference. It's like everything else, and I can't remember exactly what the saying is, but and maybe it was in one of these books. Maybe it was last weekend when we were podcasting it. That was one of the sayings. It's in real life, it's not about how much you've learned or what you've learned. It's what you do with it. You know, it's how do you use that knowledge? Because
yeah,
you may have a role and you may find out something about someone, but in a way that maybe you shouldn't have found out about it. So, what's your true character? Do you take that knowledge and do something with it, or do you remain silent? Sometimes just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
yeah,
So, you see what I'm saying? I know I'm getting too
yeah.
deep right there, but that's just how I get. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't know, like that. There are that many people out there who get that deep with one of these books because they're it's meant to be easy reading, but if you look into it, there's a lot of really interesting life lessons and and things to take away from it, you know.
Yep.
But so the White Council absolves him of the Doom of Damocles, but Harry is in the hospital, so he can't attend the meeting. So, you know, Morgan is there eating crow. That's what Harry says. Like Morgan is there, you know, having a stick up for Harry, and he's true. And Harry's like, at least the guy is honest.
I told
For
you that Morgan does what he's told, and he is pretty much truthful. That's just how he is. Even though he might not do things the best way, he does what he's supposed to do. So if somebody tells him something, he takes them at their word because he's honest.
yeah,
He keeps his word.
so at least Harry doesn't have that hanging over him anymore. But he figures that Morgan and them are probably still going to be observing him still, not as closely as they were before, but
Right.
still kind of keeping an eye on him because he is a powerful wizard. Um, that was my cat. He just fell off of
You
the
got a toad
chair.
demon over there?
No. My cat wizard likes to sleep on the back of Alex's computer chair. And
Yeah.
he just rolled off.
That
Not
dorky
on
cat.
not on purpose either. He
He's too
fell.
fat to be falling that far. He's gonna break something.
He's okay. He's okay. He's fine.
He's shaking it off.
Yeah, you won't believe how often that happens. Because he doesn't realize how
Yeah.
big he's gotten.
Hey, thanks, Trilogy.
He's gained so much weight since we moved here that he doesn't realize he can't really fit up there anymore. So every time he gets there, he falls off. It's always this big thunk. And he always seems surprised.
That
But-
is hilarious.
Anyways. Now we get to this part is a little sad for me, but so Murphy is still alive, which is good news. And she's in the same hospital as Harry and actually like right down the hall. So Harry sends her some flowers and the ring, like the handcuff ring, and a little note that says, "Don't ask why the cut is so clean. Just, don't ask." But like it's kind of like this little, kind of like trying to make amends with her. And I think on some level she's kind of forgiven him. She does go to see him, but it's only to throw the flowers in his face, and she just walks away. She just goes up.
That's Murphy.
That's Murphy. So that on some level she's forgiven him, but he does mention that they do go back to being like friendly professionally, but they don't joke around anymore. And I'm like, and he's like, some wounds just don't heal, and I'm just like, oh.
Well, as Mr. Motto would say, where sun set, somewhere else sunrise. So there's always hope.
Yeah, I mean, if she's gotten this far and she even covers for him, I mean, I'm sorry, but she must remember what went on, and she says she does not remember what happened in his office, but I think she does, and she is just covering for him. I mean, she says she doesn't remember the stuff that happened in the office with like the scorpion and like arresting him and whatnot, but I think she does.
She probably really doesn't, because you got to remember, she was poisoned by a magically produced scorpion.
Yeah, there's
So
that.
I don't think she really remembers anything. I think that's legit.
But so yeah, there's that. I mean, just that hurts so much. Like they're not. There's no joking around anymore. But anyways, Monica and the kids are safe. They've been put into witness protection, so they're going to be okay. Bob, as you remember, Harry and Bob had to negotiate a deal for Bob to throw him that escape potion. And in order for Bob to throw Harry that escape potion, Harry had to let Bob out for 24 hours. Well, Bob returns, having had a lot of fun at Chicago University. At least that's where we assume he was at, because of course when Bob returns, there are these rumors that circulate about this really wild party that happened at the university.
Yeah.
And Harry just kind of like ignores those rumors, because it was Bob, because Bob's a pervert. So
Right, Bob. Whoop, whoop.
But I mean, I love Bob. I do. He is a huge pervert, but I love him because I really like the like back and forth him and Harry have. So,
In the TV series, I love the actor that played Bob. He reminds me a lot of Tim Curry.
oh really?
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, I've got to loan that series to you. You need to watch it.
Do need
I
to.
like what they did. I wish they'd have done more than like the season and a half or whatever they did. It was phenomenal. In
So
fact,
Bob
the
returns.
series is what started me reading the books because I
Oh
saw the
really?
series first. Yeah.
Um. Well, we can talk about it a little bit more once we're finished with this last little bit.
Okay, I'm
Um.
shutting up.
No, it's okay. Don't. Oh, come on. You always do this to me.
Ah, I love it.
So, anyways, Susan shows up at Harry's hospital bed. Now, Harry took a gun wound to like the pelvis, so he's in a cast. And Susan shows up and she teases him. And she's like, "Oh, if only you were if only you were more mobile, because her story that she wrote about that date um, made the front page of the Arcane.
Right.
So she was like, she wanted to thank him. But anyway, but
Okay.
they do. Harry says they do go on a second date at some point, and this time there are no demons and no love potions, and he doesn't need Bob's advice. That's what he says. I don't need Bob's advice.
You might
So
want to
there's
take Bob's advice. Bob is a player.
and Harry does send some pizza to Toot Toot the fairy. He makes good on his promise. Even though the pizza delivery guy probably thinks he's nuts for leaving a pizza out in the middle of a road. But he makes good on his promise and gives Toot Toot and his friends the pizza. And pretty much the end of the book, things go relatively back to normal. I say relatively because him and Murphy are not exactly back to normal, but they're kind of getting there. She still goes to him for consultation, and he did get paid. He does get paid.
Cool, because I was worried about the rent.
He does get paid. And that's pretty much the end of the book. But I wanted to ask, like, the series, like the TV show, like, how close was it to the book? To the books?
The first couple episodes were pretty close. There were some distinct differences. Such as in the book, Murphy is not a blonde. She's a brunette. Very short, kind of more tomboyish type brunette. Morgan is much more of an ass in the series than in the book. In the book, I guess in the series, it seems like he really, really, really hates Harry.
Yeah, in the
More
book,
so,
he's annoying.
He's just annoying. It's a lot worse in the series.
I mean, I kind of hate him for a little bit, but at the end, I don't hate him as much as I did when you first are introduced to him.
And in the TV series, his staff that he has is a hockey stick. And Bob isn't just a spirit light in a skull. He manifests into a ghost.
Okay.
So those are some of the few differences, but nothing major. And if you also notice, don't remember the cat at all. He might be in there. I just don't remember him. And also, if you noticed, And this is like a joke that they do. On the cover, Harry wears a hat. He never wears a hat in the book or in the TV show.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting how
It's
he's shown wearing a hat, but
it's
there's
only
no
on the cover.
mention.
Yep, it's only
That's
on the
it.
cover. For some reason.
And that's like on the cover of every book. He's got a hat on.
Pretty much, yeah. But he doesn't wear a hat. And he doesn't wear a trench coat either. He wears a duster, which is different from a trench coat. He's got a trench coat on all the covers.
Well, and are the episodes, was it like one story per episode? Like they cover one book per episode?
Yeah, pretty much. The first episode was the first book and then kind of went on from there.
So comparing the first episode to the first book, like how well did they do with like graphics and the fire and everything, or the toad demon?
I would have to rewatch it. I don't remember. I don't remember the series being as spectacular as the book described everything.
Well, that usually happens.
In the TV series, it was, you literally got the impression this was just an everyday guy who happened to do a little bit of magic, but it wasn't anything super out of the ordinary or extravagant or anything like that. I mean, he was really just a goofball.
Maybe that's why it didn't last that long. Something's going on with your mic. It sounds demonic. It sounds demonic. Kind of like staticky and yeah, see, all I hear is static. Like, it's so weird.
Let's see. Okay, I changed it. I put it in a different port. Hopefully that's better. Yeah, I'm gonna have to loan it to you. It's really good. You'd like it. I recommend it for anyone, but I'm really pretty simple and things like that. I'm pretty simple to please. I definitely recommend the TV show. The TV show, it's really good. I likes it. Anyone that wants to watch this that enjoys the books, I recommend the show. Now, Jim Butcher himself didn't like the TV series. I think that's one of the reasons why it ended up going away. Because I think I watched a couple of YouTube broadcasts or whatever interviews where they were going in a complete different direction than he really wanted to go for the book and for the series. So they didn't do it his way, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're not doing it anymore. I don't think he had much control over it. I heard he actually got burnt on the whole Game of Thrones stuff and has taken some time off from writing Game of Thrones for now. Yeah, he got pretty burnt on Game of Thrones. Something happened because I just literally in the last month I read something in the news specifically about George R. R. Martin and the whole Game of Thrones series. Now, Mom and I have enjoyed the TV show. We like it. We think it's good. At some point, I want to read the books. I truly do. I want to see how good the books are because I mean that's a good storyline. I know that's not the podcast that we're doing, but I mean it's books. Yep. I'm fluffy. Well, I'll probably end up reading the books at some point in time. I haven't bought any of them yet because I've got so many books that I've bought already. I mean, you've seen all my books. I am like totally behind on reading. And part of it is because I spend too much time on my freaking computer. Yeah. My list is long. I got a lot. It's not easy having too many interests. Oh well, yeah, I like RPGs. I like Dungeons and Dragons. I like fantasy books. I like the Star Wars storyline. I like the Star Trek storyline. I like R.A. Salvatore, Ed Greenwood, Aaron Evans, Paul Kemp, Jim Butcher, Dan Brown, Michael Crichton. I mean, it's just the list. And I can't leave out David L. Goldman. God Almighty, I like his books. But the next one, yes, yes, and like I said, historically, my favorite movie has always been the very first Rocky. I absolutely love that movie. The book was fantastic. I love the movie. That has always been my favorite, hands down, over anything else that I've seen. Over Lord of the Rings, Hobbit series, Star Wars, Star Trek, all of them loved Rocky. This is a tie for Rocky after seeing this movie. This is really like my childhood, and I was able to kind of relive the 80s through that movie, and especially from the geeky video game perspective. It was a huge blast. I will probably go see the movie a second time. But I'm definitely looking forward to reading this book. And I'm telling you, you need to go see the movie before it leaves theaters. You've got to see it on the big screen. It's worth it. And we saw it in 3D, so it was even cooler. Oh yeah. Ready Player One. Now it's probably going to be a couple of weeks or so before we start covering any chapters, but I'm going to start reading it tonight. I was going to start reading it tonight. Yeah, we definitely enjoyed covering it. It was a lot of fun. Um, I think we've kind of got a little bit of a pace established. So I think we'll keep this format and pace and see how it goes. 38 chapters in Ready Player One. So I look forward to it. Awesome. Good night, everyone.